The whole block is under construction, and so it is what it is. I have another sketchbook tour to share. This one is starting off after a Qigong practice in the park. It was a sunny Saturday, I remember. We practice under all these weird trees, so I always feel really inspired. And I stay afterwards to sketch a little. This was done in watercolors. Again, from the same day, I saw this view. I stood there and sketched it. Had a lot of fun. Again, from the same day. These are while in the car or on the bus. I like sketching while the view is running really quickly in front of my eyes, because then I don't have much time to think about it and make it complicated. So these are really quick on the goes. Kind of like this one. I remember it was really dark. It's weird. I like it. On the bus, I often sketch people that I see. This kid was so pretty and he fell asleep and I had to sketch him. This is a beach scene. I live by the beach and so I love sketching it. It was, I believe, around 4 o'clock. It was such a beautiful scene. This is where the war with Iran started. So we were sitting in the shelter, and this is not our first war with Iran. So I sketched my neighbors. These girls, they live in the building across from me. So yeah, we were all pretty bummed out, and I felt like sketching them. This was a scene I saw on my way to work. I grabbed a quick picture of it, and then while sitting in the shelter, I felt like I was about to go mad. So I pulled out my sketchbook and I started sketching. I actually liked it so much, and everyone in the shelter really flattered me about it. So I tried painting it afterwards. I'm trying to get back in the habit of watercolors. I really like this part right here. So it was like the first attempt, the second attempt. Here I like this one a little better. And here I tried covering it with some oil pastels. I ditched it halfway through. I feel like making a collage out of it. It could work maybe. This was a few days after I had a date in this park that has a massive shelter next to it. And so we grabbed a bottle of wine and we sat there. Really liked the view, I don't know. It made me really inspired. So I sketched it. This was pretty surreal because I got stuck. I was heading, I don't even remember where. But there were alerts all of the sudden. It's funny about alerts because you have to get to the closest shelter nearby, and so you are just following people. They probably know where they headed. So I followed a bunch of people and we ended up in this kindergarten shelter. So everyone was sitting on these really tiny chairs. I don't know, it felt funny to me. We were there for a while, I believe, over an hour. So I took out my sketchbook and I started sketching. Weird trees, because it felt really weird to go out, to leave your house. Like you never know when the alarm will start. And these are ballistic missiles. It's not... Yeah, so each time I left the house, it was like, will I ever return? Feels so surreal thinking about it now. This is the view from my friend's balcony. I love this scene. I sketched it many times. I think it was... I feel like this could make a painting. I don't know, I really am very much into it still. I mean, I painted it many times and I still find it fascinating. So that's that. This is Ringo. He is a star. And these are my neighbor's kids. Emma is like the brightest. If I ever have a daughter, I want her to be just like her. I remember it was, like a week into the war or so. And we were all really, really tired. She's like 10, 11 years old, and I remember she had like really dark circles underneath her eyes. I've never seen a kid with dark circles before. Their mother loved it so much, she wanted to order this drawing from me. But I feel like, why should we order this kind of, it's depressing in the end. Like, it's a nice memory from the war. But do you really want a memory from the war hanging on your wall? I don't know. This was, a few days, same day, next day. I remember I was so fucking exhausted. I took a train and I went to visit my mom. She has a shelter in her building and it's much easier. So I was sitting there in the train station. This is like the main station in Tel Aviv. It's usually so busy, but during the war, like no one was there and it felt like apocalyptic. Jerusalem. Here I was probably on the way to visit my dad. And streets are empty, like everyone has abandoned the city, or I don't know what to call it, but you go out to buy a milk and then everything feels so real because no one is in the streets. למה את באה עליי? מה את רוצה? Here I was sketching with this acrylic gouache. I hate it. I really don't enjoy it at all, but I want to finish it. So I painted, and the paint I had left over, I just scribbled these rectangles. Again with that same acrylic gouache. See how gray and muddy. This scene, I painted it a bunch of times. It's the view from a park near my house. Actually started off in my previous sketchbook. So I sketched it, then I liked it, and I was like, let's try and sketch it again. This was done in gouache. That's in watercolors. And this is watercolors with soft pastels on top. But it feels so ridiculous. I didn't even want to finish it. Again, Ringo. He's such a good dog. Matok. And this was some cats I saw underneath these cars. I felt like there's something there, so I tried like all sorts of angles, and then I decided to go with something like this. So I made some quick color tests, and I really like this one, but then I ended up going with this one. So I sketched it a bunch of times. I even have a short showing this process. I know I want to cut it like somewhere around here. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. This is an idea for a painting. Here I was waiting for the bus. And here my flatmate was taking a shower. And then the alarm started. She panicked and the curtain fell off. And when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is so It's such a good representation of the reality during the war. But then it bummed me out. Like I didn't wanna paint it. I didn't wanna turn it into a real thing. Here I ran off to visit my grandmother. She has a shelter. And it's like when you don't sleep for like a week or two, the reality starts. I don't know. I was really tired. And I sat there with my cousin, and the sky were pink. These are the shades, I remember it vividly. A few days after, the air was yellow. The sky was... You felt like you're walking in a cloud of dust. Jerusalem. And these are people that I saw on the bus. I love sketching with orange pencil, but the camera is not picking it so well. Here I was with my flatmate. She's much braver than me. She told me, let's go to the beach, because we live really close to the beach. But then, like, it's scary because when the alarm turns on, you only have like 5 minutes to find a shelter nearby. But we stood there in the water, and it was such a relief, because we could forget about everything for like 10 minutes. Then we noticed that the sky was green, so I had to capture that. But it was so necessary, because when you live in that tension for so long, you forget. Like, you are so prepared all the time, so alert. And so this really gave me air. I think I painted it again. It's weird. This was in oil pastels, but they're acting weird on me. I don't know what I feel about that set. And this is in acrylics. None of them represents. Here they said the war was over. I went with my mom to breathe some green. This was not too far from home, because when they tell you the war is over, you don't really believe it. But it was spring. Like, we missed the spring because we were in the shelters all the time. A few days after that, it's too illustrative for my liking. Yeah, it was a lovely scene. This was a full moon on the way back from the Dead Sea. It was done in neocolor 2s, and I have a video on that up here in the channel, if you would like to check that out. Some trees that I saw on the bus, and this was Independence Day, which was the weirdest Independence Day ever. International Qigong and Tai Chi Day. Here I was on a date. We went to see the sunset. And this is the same view from my friend's balcony that I sketched live in her kitchen. This was after a massage in a park. I love this park. It's not close to my house at all, but whenever I'm there, I just love it. And this was a football team I saw while on the bus, and I loved it. I really enjoyed painting it. I turned it into a watercolor. And that's it. I really want to turn this into a painting. These are my neighbors with their dog in the shelter. He had leather jacket. They were dressed really nicely. We were all so tired. Again in the shelter, my neighbors. It was a really rough night and he cried. They never came to the shelter again. I felt like trying out a different shelter. So near my house there is this new building and he has like floors underneath the ground. And these are very tall floors. So it's like you're 3 floors beneath ground. It's not a legit shelter. But whenever the neighbor's door was locked, I ran here. I met this lovely couple there. And she's like an old soul. She always has this radio with her. The beach near my house. And this is it. Thank you for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. And let me know if you would like to see that watercolor collage, because I'm feeling pretty inspired now. Till next time.